Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. Well, I'm sorry for the delay this week. I've been working on my Ryzen 1700 build, and I've been working on my video all week to put up on my channel for that, so I've been putting a lot of time into that, and of course getting all the clocks and all the frequencies right on that computer. I had a little issue with the RAM. Some of the RAM on the Ryzen computer doesn't really want to get up to the proper speed, so I had to tinker with that a little bit, and it did take some more time. Anyways, today's story is about Project Cars 2. Now, I'm going to leave the link in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. But Project Cars 2 has been confirmed to run at 4K and 60 frames per second on Xbox One X. Now, this is another game confirmed to be running at native 4K resolution and 60 frames per second on the Xbox One X. Of course, the other game was Forza Motorsport 7. Now, there's another game as well. Digital Foundry did a breakdown on their channel on Lucky Tale. I'm not sure if I'm right on the name there. Anyhow, the game was running at 4K 60 frames per second. They did say that it did have a few dips in it, but of course the devs only got the dev kit, I believe, a week to 2 weeks prior to having it running on that game. So they had the dev kit for about 2 weeks, yet they got this game running at 4K 60 frames per second on Xbox One X. Now, recently over on the PlayStation, they got the Crash Bandicoot collection, and I have to point out that game is not running 4K 60 frames per second on PS4 Pro. I don't even think it's a native 4K. Anyhow, we're gonna move on from that. I'm also hearing rumors too that the crew will be native 4K resolution, as will Need for Speed. Now, I would also like to point out that the PS4 will be having GT Sport later this year, and that game will not be a native 4K resolution with 60 frames per second. Now, the developers for F1 2017 have already confirmed that it will be a native 4K and 60 frames per second on Xbox One X, so we can add another 4K native game with 60 frames per second. Now, this is a good start, and I hope developers start to wrap their head around this system and give us as many 60 frames per second games as possible. Like I said before in my previous videos, I don't really care if it's 4K 60 frames per second. 1440p 60 frames per second is good for me as well. Just give me that option that I can run at 4K 30 or 1440p 60 frames per second. But right now it looks like a lot of games will be running at 4K 60 frames per second on Xbox One X. Now, I'm really excited about this, and I'm expecting at Gamescom we'll probably get some more news from other developers about their games running on the system, and if it will be 4K or 60 frames per second. Also too, remember that these developers are just now getting these dev kits. They've had these dev kits for maybe 2 weeks to a month at most. So of course, once they get familiar with it, they'll be able to get better games out of it. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about the list of games so far that are running 4K and 60 frames per second on Xbox One X. Please leave your comments down below, and I ask you guys to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.